Well, good morning. Happy Sunday. As promised today, I do want to talk about how I got to being this size since, in 2021 when I pretty much started this channel, I was 180 pounds. So, yeah, but I'll show you the fit, which is not very exciting. It's 95 outside, so I'm not wearing much. So, there's that. But we got to stay cool because it is hot out there. And I got to get my matcha going and I'll spill the tea, which coincidentally, matcha was a big part of that. So let's get started. All right. Well, as promised, here is the fit for today. Like I said, there's not much here going on, but like also I said, it's 95 degrees outside. So we're staying cool. We're staying nice and refreshed. Obviously, this is the fantasy, the wedges, but would I actually go out like this? Probably not, because people are crazy. But I would wear flats and then probably be fine because, I don't know, something about heels people go a little crazy about. But yeah, in sandals, why not? Anyway, let me get the matcha and let me start spilling the tea. Got my matcha going. I'm ready to spill the tea. Let's get to it. So, right here, I'm going to insert some footage of me when I was 180 pounds. I actually, I don't even think I was at my heaviest in this footage. I believe I got even heavier. I did get to 180, and I know that because one of those outfits I was wearing in there, and then eventually I couldn't even fit into that. So yeah, I got even bigger than what you are seeing right now, which is wild. So let me start from the beginning. When I first started my YouTube channel, I was that heavy, but I was determined to lose the weight, and I had promised myself if I could lose the weight, then I could do anything. And the first and foremost thing that was on my mind was getting healthier and feeling better, not just physically, but also mentally. I was in a position at that time. I was a teacher, and I was in a very dark place as a teacher. And that had been going on since the beginning of time for my time as a teacher. When I graduated, I couldn't even be a teacher. It was so hard to get a teaching position. And then eventually I did, and that was in an alternative school. And it was what I thought was going to be the hardest part of my career because most of those students, they would end up either in jail or in that school that I was teaching at. And so they would go to my school in hopes of being, rehabilitated so that they can go back to their old school and, be successful. They were a challenge for sure. Lots of fights. It was very dangerous. And we were specifically told that we had to wear sneakers in case we had to run or move quickly for whatever reason. And then eventually I got into a public school, and that was a very long drive. And it was an amazing school. I loved it. It was based on performing arts, but unfortunately, the school district just constantly had a lot of cuts, and I was riffed because I was one of the last hires, and it was a reduction in force, and they let me go, even though I was a special ed teacher and they desperately needed me. And then eventually I got another position in the same district because, like I said, they needed special ed teachers. And then I got into another district, and I ended up with a new supervisor who decided she didn't like me and she had someone else that she wanted to put in my position instead. So she got rid of me and didn't even post my position because she illegally hired the person that she wanted to take my place in there instead, because she wanted to take, she wanted control. And I was not yet what's the word? So, like I said, it was pretty traumatic. I did end up in another school where I eventually became very close friends with my principal, and she is now my sister. And we have incredible adventures together, and she takes very good care of me. But I decided to leave that position because it was almost a 3-hour commute, all said and done. It was very hard, and it was just coming out of the pandemic when we started coming back. And they had me teaching 20 special ed students, 9 through 12, all subjects in one classroom. And that was very challenging. It was hard. So I thought, I would apply to a place that was closer. I got to the place that was closer, and I was targeted and bullied because I started reporting some anti-Semitic and racist and misogynistic things that I was hearing in the teacher's lounge, and apparently you're not supposed to do that. So I was targeted and bullied, and eventually they started lying on my observations and all that other stuff. But anyway, I became very suicidal. It was a very dark time for me. I'm only telling you all this background to give you an idea of how desperate I was in the 10 years I was as a teacher to get out of education, because I just could not do it anymore. And so the weight gain was because of this Great Depression and coming out of the pandemic and all these other things, all these factors that played into it. And then the weight loss was because I promised myself, and Sean, my husband, promised me that if I could achieve this, we would figure it out, and I could leave education. And so because I was in such a devastating situation mentally and eventually becoming physically, I found it pretty easy to lose the weight, because for me it was about life or death. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's my truth. It's what I experienced. It's what happened to me. So now to the nitty gritty. How did I lose the weight? So I have always been a gym rat. I would go to the gym every single day, even on days that were gross, that were cold, that snowed, rained, all of it. I was determined. I was like, we're going to do this. And I got all my cute, super cute gym sets so that I would feel encouraged and empowered to do this. And what I found was, because I worked out so hard at the gym, my body was starving for calories, and everything that I burned at the gym, I would end up actually eating more of, because I was so hungry by the end of the day. Now, that's not to say that I didn't lose some weight doing that. I did lose some weight, but eventually I did plateau. And a lot of it, I will have to say, it is in the kitchen. Abs are made in the kitchen. You want to lose weight, it comes down to what you are consuming. So my joints were killing me. My knees were especially in a lot of pain. And I thought, and I do believe a lot of it had to do with the excessive weight gain that I had. I also couldn't sleep, and I started snoring, and my breathing was labored. It was bad. So I actually asked Sean, because he's in on the weightlifting forums and stuff like that. I asked him about collagen, because I had been seeing a lot about it. And so he started doing some research. Honestly, I was more into it when it came to, like, I wanted my hair to be beautiful, I wanted my skin to look good, and all those other things. But what he came back was with the knowledge of, not only does it help all those things, skin, nails, hair, all that stuff, but it also helps with your joints. And I didn't realize this, which I guess is kind of obvious now that I know, I guess, but it's also a protein. So in my determination to cut calories, restrict my calorie intake, eat less, move more sort of thing, I decided that I was going to replace my meals, my mornings, with my new collagen matcha drink. So Sean did a whole bunch of research on how my body can absorb the collagen, the different things that I need to add to the collagen that I was taking, and I could also add it to my matcha so that I could actually enjoy the taste of it, because I'm not crazy about the flavor of collagen. That's how that came to be with my matcha. Now I will say it has been life-changing. The other part of that is that I also fast. So in a way, it's kind of taken the place of 2 meals, kind of breakfast and lunch in a sort of, but that's kind of where I'm at now. But when I was losing the weight, I was very careful about the things that I started consuming. I would make sure that the things I ate were whole foods. So I stopped eating pasta, I know. I stopped eating bread, I know. And the things that I consumed were like whole food, whole ingredient food. So I ate apples, I ate fruits and berries, and I ate all the vegetables. Lots of spinach, lots of salads, that sort of things. I would get salad kits because that was just easier for me. I would just throw that in a bowl and I would eat that. That would be my dinner. Sometimes I would get frozen broccoli and I would just steam it in the microwave and put a little olive oil, a little salt and pepper, and that would be my evening meal. But as you can imagine, I was lacking in protein. So obviously my collagen was a part of that. So other ways that I would increase my protein intake was I also made sure I had real milk in this because there's protein in milk. But I also did things like I would have Greek yogurt because that's full of protein. I ate a bunch of nuts. I would have eggs like as a snack in between. What other things? I just made sure that I would consume things that I knew had protein in it so that I was also getting the protein intake that I needed. For the most part, a lot of the things that I ate were fruits and vegetables, like just whole food ingredients. I also like kind of in the beginning, as I started to wean myself off of like the over processed foods like bread and pasta and stuff like that, I was eating Trader Joe's cauliflower gnocchi, and I liked it because it was very low in calories and most of the ingredients was pretty much cauliflower, and I enjoyed the flavor of it. So it was healthy. It also helped me lose a lot of weight. And when I got sick of that, I would have a bag of broccoli, and when I got sick of that, I would have some eggs. It's just a matter of knowing what was working. In that same vein, what I realized was, like I said, when I was going to the gym, I was burning so many calories that I needed to consume more and more food. So what I started doing was I stopped going to the gym and instead I just started walking. So I would walk in the morning with Suki, the puppy, and I would walk in the afternoon, and sometimes I would take another evening stroll. If I felt like I was maybe a little bad that day, I would take another walk. And what I noticed was because I was consuming less, but I was moving more, the weight really started to come off very, very quickly, which was really exciting. I had finally figured out my chemistry, what was going on inside of me, and what my body was doing to keep weight on and what I needed to do to lose the weight. Now, here's a tip that I feel like would help everyone. The one thing that was guaranteed to work no matter what, if I was bad or even if I wasn't bad and I wanted to like end the day on a good note and I knew I wanted to lose weight the next day, the number one thing I would do, I made sure I would have raw broccoli. You want to lose weight? Raw broccoli. I swear by it. And you know, just sometimes eating raw broccoli is hard, and I'm not the biggest fan of broccoli, but it works. So I would have my broccoli with guacamole. I would have it with hummus. Obviously, these things have fat and protein in them, which again, that was my way of adding protein into my diet with the hummus, and a little extra fat with the healthy fat with the guacamole. But yeah, and it was a great way to end the day, and I swear by it. The next morning, I lost weight, guaranteed. So that's a really big tip from me to you. If you want to make sure you lose weight, end your day with raw broccoli. But yeah, it's really not rocket science. It really just comes down to, honestly, eat less, move more, and what you eat matters. It is a whole lifestyle change. Do I eat bread now? Yeah, I eat bread now. I am at a position, I'm at the weight where I'm happy, and you know, if I go up a pound or two because I had, you know, a little bit of bread, I'm not upset about it. I know how to lose it if I wanted to. You know, it's not a big deal. The thing is, it really is a lifestyle change. And if you want to change your life, and if you really do want to lose the weight, it matters what you eat. It really does. The walking was great. It was very helpful. It made sure that I was moving my body and I was burning the calories, but also eating foods that were high water content, say like watermelon, tomatoes, obviously spinach, lots of water content. And I would fill up on those things, but because they were so low in calories and so high in water content, it was easy to fill up on it and then burn the calories because it was mostly water, you know? I also started every single day, and I still do this, with a full cup of water. I drink a full glass of water before I do, well, first I go to the bathroom and weigh myself, and then I drink a full glass of water. And I also weigh myself every single day. Every day. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but the way I figured out what worked and what was working and what wasn't working was because I paid attention every single day to what the weight gain was, what the weight loss was, and what was working for me. So these are things that you need to do in order to lose the weight. But yeah, so fasting, I would not eat until after 10 or 11, and what I would consume was pretty much my matcha collagen. Then I would come home and I would probably have an egg for that added protein, and I would finish my day with a salad or with my broccoli. And that's what works. I know it sounds extreme, but losing 60 pounds, and I did this in 14 months because my last day in education was January 13th, it was a Friday, 2023. And I started my journey in 2022. But yeah, I did all of this in 14 months, and it is possible. And in the end, weighing less, losing all that weight, I've never felt more confident. And I know a lot of people kind of probably give me shit behind the scenes because I'm constantly like taking pictures of myself and like showing off my tiny waist and all my new outfits and being in love with fashion again, because I had stopped. When I got that to 180, I was wearing black leggings, black t-shirt, and an oversized jacket every single day. I was hiding myself, and I don't ever want to hide myself. I deserve to take up space. And I'm sorry if my pictures or my videos are too sexy for you, but I'm so happy with where I am, and I'm so in love with the way I look and who I've become, not just physically, but also mentally, and the strength and resilience it took to get here. Don't get me wrong, I come from a lot of privilege in order to be able to heal from everything that I've experienced. I've had a lot of therapy, talk therapy, and so a lot of that I credit to the people in my life that have kept me strong. You know, my sister was there every step of the way, and my husband also just kept encouraging me. But this was really my journey. You know, this was something I had to do, and I had to do it for me. And if this sounds like something you want to do and you want to change your life forever, it really just comes down to eat less, move more, eat lots of fruits and veggies. Truly. And also go to therapy, because that also helps with like you being able to communicate and express what you're feeling and how you're feeling, because some days are just really hard. Losing the weight and like trying to stay on track. You know, people around you are ordering burgers or sandwiches or, you know, these fries and all these things that you want to have, but you're at the restaurant with them and you have to make the decision to, you know, stay healthy and order a salad instead. And what I will say about that is I've never regretted ordering a salad. I have regretted eating fries. I've felt sick afterwards. I've regretted eating a whole burger. I felt nauseous. But when I have a salad, I always feel amazing afterwards, and I don't feel full. I feel good. Like I feel satisfied. And that feeling alone, like having just the feeling of your body being satisfied, of having the nutritional value that it's been craving, but also like not feeling sick after a meal is also like, it's kind of addicting. It feels amazing to just feel good in your body, you know, physically. But also like when you look at yourself and you see the changes that are being made, it's exciting. And yeah, but anyway, so that's everything. I hope that helps at all. Once again, here's where I was at 180 pounds. It's definitely been a life-changing situation and experience. And here's where I am now. And I've never been happier. And I'm working on being happier every single day. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you have any other questions, if you want to know what I put in my matcha collagen to make sure that I absorb all the collagen and all the benefits that I get from it, I can do a video on that as well. I have done one in the past, but I can do an updated one. And yeah, and any, you know, skincare, hair care, I've done those as well. I can do updated versions of that. But yeah. All right. I will see you tomorrow. Until next time.